Them in order. Ralph Torrie, who's sitting right here, is the managing director of Navigant Consulting, and he leads the firm's carbon markets and climate change response business activities. He's been involved in the business for 35 years, related to energy and environmental issues. He's involved in a climate change issue dates back to '88 when he organized the energy workshop at the Toronto Conference on the Changing Atmosphere, and he drafted what became known as the Toronto Target for Greenhouse Gas Emission Reduction. So he's been in the fight for a long time. He developed the first low-carbon scenario analysis for Canada. He's led analytic and modeling teams investigating climate change for business and strategies for businesses and government throughout the world. So you get what perspective Ralph has. And again, I'm going to ask Ralph to speak about what our unique opportunities are and where we can go forward to become a clean energy superpower. Ralph Torrie.
Thank you, Evan. I have notes. I have a train of thought that I wanted to share with you. Unfortunately, my trains of thought are not like locomotives where every car after the engine follows along. The links between my cars are pretty weak. Sometimes my trains of thought go wandering off the track. But the train, as I've outlined it, has the following words: superpower, clean energy, energy commodities, unique advantages, public policy. We'll see if I get to the caboose here. But starting with superpower, and I'm the one who I think put the idea in Toby's mind that perhaps it's not the most fitting word to couple with a phrase like clean energy. It does evoke a bygone era of Sputnik and debates between Nixon and Khrushchev in kitchens over who had the best appliances and who would dominate the world and who would dominate the oil supplies and who would dominate nature. So it has the ring of a word. When I say it's a word of a bygone era, I don't mean in the sense that we don't still have superpowers in the world, or at least one, or that we don't still have countries that aspire to be superpowers, or at least one. I mean it in the sense that it's an idea that's dead. And we need to try and put it behind us, I think, especially in the context of the subject here today, which is clean energy. Because what do we mean? And one of the advantages of going first in something like this is I get the chance to offer up a few definitions and frameworks for the discussion. The disadvantage, of course, is if you go at the end of one of these panels, you can just react to everything that went before, and it's easier in some ways. But what I would say about clean energy is that, or sustainable energy, which is the broader concept for this series, is that we're talking about the energy component of a sustainable way of living. What would that look like? We don't really know. We know what's not sustainable. You just have to turn on the news tonight and look at that gusher on the floor of the Gulf of Mexico to be reminded of what's not clean and what's not sustainable. But what really is sustainable and clean energy? And to me, you just have to turn on the news tonight and look at that gusher on the floor of the Gulf of Mexico to be reminded of what's not clean and what's not sustainable. But what really is sustainable and clean energy? And to me, the most effective way of thinking about it that I've ever come across is it would be an energy system that mimics the way that nature herself tends to design and organize systems, including the energy components of those systems. So it would run on renewable energy. All else being equal, it would consist of smaller rather than larger contributors to support diversity and resilience. Its components would be designed in a way that they would safe fail. They would not rely on engineering systems to ensure or prevent catastrophe in the event of failure. They would have inherent in their design safe fail characteristics. You would have a very high level of efficiency. There is, after all, no such thing as waste in nature. There's no externalities in nature. These are concepts that human systems and technologies have brought into the picture that are really antithetical to what I think we could agree on a sustainable energy system would look like. And it is a systems concept. You'll never find any one technology that satisfies all of the criteria that would characterize a sustainable energy system: renewable, diverse, resilient, safe fail, efficient. And so, as in all things human, it will always be a matter of compromising in order to move in the direction of sustainability. But when I think of clean energy and that particular definition of it, I can't quite put the idea of superpower together with that.